Okay, so I'm Cynthia, and I'm the host of the reality series CPS the Horror Stories. I'm not an attorney or a social worker, but I am a mom who has dealt with Child Protective Services as they kidnapped my children. After 2 years of fighting, I did get my kids back, and now I have this platform to allow other parents, such as yourself, to come on and just share their traumatic story when dealing with CPS. So, would you like to introduce yourself
Yes, my name's Dee.
and where are you from?
I'm from Arkansas originally, but I lived in Texas most of my life.
Okay. And tell me about your child.
Um, I had my child when I was 18. I got pregnant at 18, and I kind of did a 360 because I was not ready to have a child, but didn't really have a choice. Kind of, I had a choice, but didn't really have a choice. Kind of. So I tried to change my life. I was really problematic at some point of my life, and I tried to do better and ended up going to move in with my mother and got arrested. And because I did not want to have my child in jail and start a case, my father came and got me out of jail, and that was kind of the beginning of the end. I just didn't really know it.
Wow. So go ahead, tell me. Well, first of all, did you deal with CPS as a child or no?
Yes, but I really don't remember it all that well. It's kind of bundled up, you know. I don't have a good memory of it.
Okay. Um, so, okay. When your son, let's talk about the day your son was removed. What happened? How did that look?
He was never removed from me. Basically, so I went to live with my father. My father and my stepmother, they apparently couldn't or didn't want to pay the bills for the apartment that we were living in. So we moved in with Betty, my cousin. Her name, we're gonna say Betty.
Okay.
And so I was almost ready to have my son. I was like maybe like a month away from it. And after I had him and everything, CPS instantly was in my life, even though I didn't have any drugs in my system. He didn't have any drugs in his meconium, none of that. But since I told the truth about a lot of things when I went to doctors and everything, they said they had to call CPS, which I had no problem with. I had no problem with them coming and everything. So after that, my father and my stepmother left me with Betty, my cousin, and I really didn't understand what was going on. I signed a safety plan for me to be able to keep my child. CPS told me, they said, you will not be able to keep your son by, I couldn't be alone with him apparently. So they were threatening to take him from me. So I didn't want them to take him. So I signed a safety plan saying that I could have him as long as Betty was there or my stepmother. And I really didn't think too much of it because this was my family.
Right.
And long story short, I stayed. My father, they left me there, and I ended up getting a job with Betty's daughter. She was the manager at a Muya, and I got a job with her. Since she was the manager, they would give her my checks. Like I would not receive my checks. She would get my checks, the daughter, and she would give them to Betty, and Betty would go and put it in her bank account, and I wouldn't see any money. And it was hard for me because there was nothing I could do. I felt stuck because my son, if I couldn't take him, if I were to leave, he would stay, and I did not want to leave my son anywhere. So I stayed and I left that job and I tried to go get another job. They then, she then reported me to CPS and said that I was stealing her dad's opioids, her dad's like Xanax and things, and kicked me out the house. I tried to take my son with me. They said if I didn't return him, it would be a kidnapping charge. So I had to return him. And I tried to, see him as much as possible and everything. I took the drug test, a hair test, and proved that I was not taking her opioids, her med. I wasn't taking anything. I wasn't on drugs. I was clean. I've been clean for a long time since I had my son. So after she kicked me out, I could not get stable. I was living with my father and my stepmother in a hotel room, but I couldn't get stable. No one was helping me. They were just talking, and the case was ongoing. Like, my caseworker would do nothing. There were certain things that she should have been doing that she wouldn't do, like drug assessments and stuff like that. So I just kept going and going and going for some reason, and it was going nowhere. So I left my father's custody and everything, and came here with my mother. As soon as I came here, my CPS case was closed.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
It cut. Yes, but it cut out quite a bit. So I heard you say something about your dad, and then that was it.
I left my dad's house because no one was helping me. I couldn't get on my feet, and they were telling me the only reason I didn't have my son was because I didn't have a stable place to live. So I had to leave. I came to my mother's. As soon as I came here, my case was transferred immediately. They kept telling me my case would not be transferred. So the case was transferred, and then it closed. My case closed. I'm thinking I'm going to go pick up my son, and Betty opened up a court case on me, so I couldn't go and get him.
Wow, your own cousin.
Yes.
Where's the baby now?
He is still in Salina, Texas, I guess. There was a court order out saying that I could have, after my CPS case closed, I was supposed to have visitation with him every 14 days. And she blocked me. I have lots of things that I don't think I should say, but I haven't seen my son since last February. I mean, no, this February of 2020, I have not seen my child.
Wow.
She denied me visitation on his birthday and
your
blocked
cousin
me.
Still has him.
Yes, my cousin has him illegally. So I know when I go to court, I will most likely get him back. But from everything that's going on, I've just been very nervous, I guess.
Yeah, understandably so. Do you happen to remember where we were? Where we left off, or no?
No, I've totally just spaced out, really.
Okay, so let's go back. You said you haven't seen him, that you've been denied visits.
Yes.
For a while. Outrageous to me.
Yes, I have been alienated from my child since February, really. He didn't tell me when he started walking, didn't tell me when he got his teeth. I knew nothing. Crawling, nothing.
When was the last time you've seen him?
February.
Of this year?
Of this year. That's the last time I physically saw him. The last time that I've seen him on FaceTime would have to be before July.
Wow. What is next for you with this case?
I am going to court on my trial February 19th, 2021, and I'm pretty positive I'm going to pick up my son just because of all the evidence I've gathered myself. And there's no real reason for her to take my child. CPS did a home check. I have the letter. There's no real reason for them to take my son. I'm not on drugs. I don't do drugs. So.
Have you ever?
Yes, in the past, yes. And I admitted to that, and that's why I had a CPS case. But.
May I ask what you were using?
Weed and cocaine.
Okay. And how long have you been clean?
I've been clean for like a year and 6 months. I did smoke one time, and this is after I was removed from my child. I smoked one time, and that resulted in a positive drug test, and it was dismissed. My case was still dismissed, though.
Wow. Did you have a case plan where you had to do things?
Yes, I had a case plan opened. I had to take counseling, and I took a drug assessment, and ended up having to take drug classes also, and all of that was completed.
So there's nothing left for you to do.
There's nothing left for me to do. The only reason why there's a court case open is because Betty knew that my CPS case would be closing. CPS helped her in a way. Collin County CPS helped her because they I think they told her to go open up a court case because I was supposed to be going to pick up my son. My case was closed. And she opened up the court case, and then didn't inform me that there was a open court case until the morning before court. So I had to rush and figure out how to get into a Zoom meeting, and I was pretty much blindsided by my father, Betty, and my stepmother.
I totally understand how that feels. It's sad.
I mean, if it goes on, I'm pretty lucky in my case just because of how everything was handled. I did everything they said. There's no real reason for them to take my child. Other people aren't really so lucky. And my mother's helped a lot.
So, what about your mental health? How have you been dealing with all of this?
I've been stuck in a way. I really haven't, just going to work and coming home just because that's my first child. It's my only child. I mean, I really don't know what to do without him.
I'm so sorry you're dealing with this.
I just hope everything works out. One thing I can't say is don't sign anything. Don't sign any paperwork unless there's someone with you there that you know, your mother, the person that birthed you, because it was a really confusing situation. If you can't trust your father, then it's really hard to know who you can trust.
You're right.
That paperwork's everything. That's the only reason why I don't have my child, because of the safety plan. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's still going. So I guess that's all for now. Still figuring it out.
What would you tell people that are seeing this and listening to your story?
Don't sign any paperwork unless you know what you're signing, and do everything they say. Don't give up. Don't not go to an appointment. Don't, because they will and they can use that against you in every way.
And what about your family?
Which family?
The one that it basically took your son from you.
I have no words for them really, because it's still ongoing. I still haven't seen my son. It's a very weird situation just because, like, I'm alienating me from my son. I don't see how that helps anybody. That doesn't help you, that doesn't help me, and that doesn't help him. So there's not really much I can say at this point. I haven't been able to even look them in their face.
You got cut off again.
Yes, but I contact everyone in her Facebook friends. I've messaged everyone. So I've received information, and I just hope everything goes according. I don't want to say too much because there's an ongoing trial coming up. And so it's just hard to really say anything to them at this point. Hopefully after everything is settled, I can come back on here and,
I would love that. I would love
it'll like my final thing, because that side is still going. I really don't know what to say right now.
I would like you to come back on and share when you get your son back.
Yes, of course.
I would love that. Thank you for coming on and visiting with me. I apologize for that long pause that we had.
No, it's perfectly fine. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, hey, keep in touch, please, because I really want to know what happens.
I will. I really
Okay.
will. I followed you and everything. I will.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and
Thank you.
I can't wait to see what your son looks like when you get him back.
Okay. Okay. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye.